It started with a glance, a single stolen second where her eyes met mine and the world forgot to breathe. I didn't know her name, but my body knew her like a memory. And from that moment, I stopped running from the fire and let it consume me. Hey, welcome to my channel. If you love powerful stories, real talk, and unexpected twists, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and get ready, because it's about to get real. They say love arrives when you least expect it, but nothing could have prepared me for her. She walked into my life like a storm, wild, breathtaking, and completely impossible to ignore. Her voice was laughter in a quiet room, her eyes the kind of chaos you want to get lost in. She was all fire and poetry. I was structure and silence. I didn't believe in fate, but from the moment our eyes met, something shifted. It was never easy between us. That's how I knew it was real. We were paired to organize a retreat, something neither of us had asked for but couldn't refuse. She challenged me from the first meeting. She questioned my logic, tore through my neatly planned agendas, and replaced them with wild ideas and raw emotion. "You can't structure hearts," she said once, her eyes locked on mine. "No," I replied, "but you can protect them from breaking." That was the beginning of our dance. One step forward, two steps back. Arguments laced with tension. Long silences charged with everything we couldn't say. Every time we fought, it felt like the world narrowed down to just the two of us. Every glance lingered too long. Every accidental touch felt like electricity crawling over skin. The retreat changed everything. One night, after the students had gone to bed, we stayed up by the fire. The woods around us whispered, the flames cast golden shadows on her face, and I couldn't look away. "Why do you keep pushing me away?" she asked softly. I looked down, afraid of how much truth lived in my silence. "Because if I fall for you," I said, "I won't know how to stop." She leaned in, so close I could feel the warmth of her breath. "Then fall," she whispered. "I'll catch you." And I did. That night, we didn't kiss. Not yet. But something passed between us, more intimate than lips meeting. We shared truths, fears, wounds we hadn't shown anyone else. I told her how I'd built walls to survive. She told me how she'd been searching for something that didn't feel like settling. We didn't fall in love. We crashed into it. Beautiful, messy, inevitable. When we finally kissed, days later, it was after another fight. Another moment when emotions ran too high and words broke open everything we'd been hiding. It wasn't soft. It was desperate. Hands in hair, mouths meeting like we'd run out of ways to hold back. And in that moment I realized something. Love doesn't always whisper. Sometimes it roars. She became my chaos, and I became her calm. She taught me that passion doesn't mean instability. It means caring deeply, feeling deeply. And I showed her that strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it holds on. We still argue. We still challenge each other. But now every disagreement ends with a kiss. Every silence holds comfort. Every day we choose each other again. That's what love became for us. Not a perfect harmony, but a rhythm only we understand. If I've learned anything, it's this. The heart doesn't want what's safe. It wants what sets it on fire. And she did. She still does. There's a kind of silence that speaks louder than words. The kind that happens when two people hover in the space between fear and desire, breath and touch. That's where we lived for a while. On the edge of something electric, both terrified to cross the line. Until the night we finally did. It was raining. Not the soft kind that makes you want to curl up and read, but the kind that makes the world feel wild and alive. She showed up at my door, soaked to the skin, hair clinging to her neck, eyes stormy with something she wasn't saying. "I didn't know where else to go," she said, her voice almost a whisper. I stepped aside. She didn't move. I could see it in her, the hesitation, the need. and something in me broke open. I reached out, gently brushed a strand of wet hair from her face, and her eyes closed like the touch was too much. Or maybe not enough. She stepped in. I shut the door behind her. The sound echoed like a promise. We didn't speak. Words would have ruined it. There was too much to feel. I pulled her into me, and the second our bodies touched, something raw and hungry took over. She kissed me like she'd been holding it back for too long, like every suppressed feeling had finally erupted. I kissed her back like I'd been starving for her. Clothes fell in a trail behind us, forgotten. Skin met skin, tentative at first, then desperate, aching. Every inch of her was poetry in motion. Soft gasps, trembling hands, the way her fingers tangled in my hair as if anchoring herself to something real.
We didn't make love like two people falling. We made love like two people finally letting go. She tasted like rain, like risk, like home. After, she curled against me, her cheek on my chest, her fingers tracing circles over my skin as if she were writing secrets only my body could understand. "Was this a mistake?" she asked quietly. "No," I whispered, brushing my lips against her forehead. "It was inevitable. There's a kind of intimacy that goes beyond sex, where two souls recognize each other in the dark. That night we found it. The morning light was soft, but she was softer, her body tangled in mine, her sleep-heavy sighs against my shoulder. I held her like I never wanted to let her go, because I didn't. And from that day on, everything changed. We stopped pretending, stopped dancing around what was already burning between us. We were a slow unraveling, a deep dive. We learned each other's bodies like maps, explored one another like oceans, gentle some days, wild on others. Our love was skin and soul. It was whispered confessions against bare shoulders. It was laughter tangled in sheets. It was hands held under tables and stolen kisses in stairwells, and nights where neither of us slept, not because of lust, but because the closeness felt too good to miss. She was the lesson I didn't know I needed, the fire I was never meant to tame, and I was the quiet she never knew she craved. Together we weren't perfect, but we were real. And real love doesn't always walk in the light. Sometimes it finds you in the rain, wet, breathless, trembling, and says, "I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." Real love doesn't stay perfect, changes shape, gets tested, it bends beneath the weight of real life. Ours did too. There were days I thought loving her would be easy forever, days when her laughter was all I needed to feel whole, when her touch could undo every knot inside me. But there were also nights, darker ones, when we didn't know how to meet in the middle, when words hurt more than silence and our passion felt too sharp to hold. It was a fight, our worst, about something small, as it always is. Schedules, promises, her late night at work, my tendency to shut down instead of speak up. She stood in the kitchen, her back to me, hands clenched on the counter. I could see the tremble in her shoulders. I could feel the space between us stretching, tearing. "I don't know what you want from me," she said finally, her voice thick, shaking. "I'm trying. I'm giving you everything I have, and I don't know if it's enough." I crossed the space and stopped behind her, not touching, just close enough to feel the heat of her pain. "I don't want everything," I said, my voice low, cracking. "I just want you. All of you. The messy parts, the scared parts, even this." She turned to face me, tears spilling from her eyes, and it broke me the way she tried to hold them back. Always so strong, always so afraid of being too much, but she never was. I reached for her slowly, and when she let me hold her, it wasn't a grand gesture. It was something braver. Two people choosing softness when everything in them wanted to run. "I'm not good at this," I whispered into her hair. "Neither am I," she breathed against my chest. "But I want to be with you." That night we didn't fall into bed. We fell into stillness, naked and wordless beneath the sheets. We lay forehead to forehead, heart to heart. And there, in that quiet space after the storm, we made love like we were relearning each other's language. Slow, intentional, worshipful. She cried when she came, not out of pleasure, but relief. And I held her tighter, kissed the curve of her neck, let her know I was still here. Because real love isn't the high, it's the staying. It's learning how to touch someone in their silence. It's finding a way to say, "I'm with you," without needing to say anything at all. It's fingers brushing across a scar and not pulling back. In the weeks after, we got better. Not perfect, but better. More honest, more open, more us. We started cooking together, dancing in the kitchen with bare feet and soft music. We left love notes tucked in jacket pockets. We argued, but we fought to understand, not to win. We made love not just with bodies, but with time. Lingering mornings, soft afternoons. Nights that ended tangled in moonlight and breathless laughter. And slowly I realized love isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you build. With hands, with hearts, with hard conversations and soft forgiveness. With sweat and skin and showing up again. Even when it's hard. That was our greatest lesson. And every night when she reaches for me in the dark, half asleep, just to make sure I'm still there, I hold her close and whisper the truth we've both come to believe. This is what love looks like after midnight, and I'm never letting go. Love changed us, not all at once but inch by inch, moment by moment. There were days it felt easy, effortless, like we were born knowing how to find each other in a crowded world. But there were also the harder days when it felt like we were two different songs trying to find the same rhythm. And yet we stayed, not because we had to, but because we chose to. Over time our love became quieter, not less passionate, never that, but more rooted, more intentional. It lived in the little things now, in the way she always made 2 cups of coffee, even when I said I wasn't thirsty, in the way I warmed her side of the bed when she came home late, in how we knew when to hold on tighter, and when to let the silence speak for us. There was a night, years later, when I found her asleep on the couch, a book open on her chest, her hand curled like she'd been waiting for someone to take it. I knelt beside her, just looking, at the way time had softened her face but not her spirit, at the way love, real love, had written itself into the lines of our lives. She stirred and opened her eyes. "You're staring," she murmured, sleep heavy and warm. "I'm remembering," I said, brushing my fingers over her hand. "How we almost didn't make it. How we almost missed all of this." She smiled, and God, it still did something to me after all that time. "But we didn't." "No," I said, kissing her palm. "We didn't. We found our way through the mess, the miscommunication, the fear. We built a love that was never perfect, but always real, always growing, always ours." That's the thing about love. It's not just the beginning that matters. It's the staying, the showing up, the forgiving, the choosing, the soft returning after every storm. She once told me love is a lesson you never stop learning. She was right, and if I had to write the ending to our story, it would sound like this. We found our way, through chaos and comfort, through fire and quiet, and in the end love didn't save us. We saved each other. One day, one touch, one choice at a time. This is our lesson in love, and it was worth everything.